Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to be doing a teardown and damage report of my two robots that I most recently took to my event in September. So it is extraordinarily late for this video, about, what, like 4 or 5 months, something like that. But yeah, let's get into it. So I brought I brought Syrnik, my updated 3-pound bot Syrnik, and my updated bot Chernobly. Chernobly got first place, Syrnik got maybe like 5th or something. Didn't do entirely all that well. So let's just go over, first of all, let's do a teardown of each bot, and then we will do a report of the damage for each one. So Chernobly is a 1-pound plastic ant-weight drum spinner robot. It uses a 100% infill 3D printed drum on a brushless motor that you can see right in there that goes at about 1000 kV, although you can see it is pretty chipped up just from the way that it is. So it's mounted on a brushless motor here, and then a bearing with a set screw going through it, or not set, just a shoulder screw going through it, and that is normally held in place by something like that, but you can tell it got chipped off. It runs on 2 brushed N20 motors there and there, and that goes at about 900 RPM. I have a very janky wiring setup that I've been using, this exact same wiring setup actually, for all of my robots, all my ant-weight robots, even back to like March of 2020 when I had Papa Boris. So we have a FingerTech switch, a BEC to supply power to the receiver. We have a brushless ESC here, I believe, NBOT's dual ESC here, which are now out of stock pretty much everywhere, but I was lucky enough to get one a while ago. And I believe this runs on a 500 milliamp hour 3S 3-cell LiPo. All right, moving on to Syrnik. We have a bit more complicated than last time. It's a bit of a different bot. The last bot, it was a lot more round, and it was more of a one piece. This one, it still uses similar materials, but it's a very, very different robot. So a lot of it is PLA, just because I could not get my hands on some cheap, affordable nylon. So we have PLA side bits here, here, and here. However, this one is blue, and I painted it red and coated it in Flex Seal once again, because as you know, Flex Seal is the greatest material to ever exist. Then I have 2 UHMW uprights that I mount the weapon to here and here, and I can actually grab the weapon right here. It is right here. So it uses this weapon, which mounts itself right into here, and it mounts on normally shafts, and then obviously you have the mounting plate right here that this is attached to and spins from. So we also have a Uhmw Mid Bar, and all of this is kind of a puzzle piece design, so you can tell there's some indents right there. So this bit fits in between those, where then it's screwed down, and it's pretty hard to tell. I don't know if I can get a good angle on that, but there is, yeah, you can't really tell, but there's a little chunk of this that extends into here to kind of keep it in place. So then I have 2 motor mount pieces, so I can unscrew this and just take this whole assembly out. So it'd be this, this, and this. And then I could take the whole wheel out, take the wheel off, replace the motor, or do anything I need to with that. I think this is a either 1 or 1.5 millimeter thick aluminum base plate, and 1 millimeter thick titanium wedges, which are kind of bent up and pretty beaten pretty badly. Alright, so now let's move on to the electronics here. I'm running a 2836, I think. Yeah, 2836, 2200 kV prop drive motor. It worked great, no complaints about it. And that attached to a timing pulley that I did not have a good design for. I tried, see this right here uses the XL, if I can get that to focus. The teeth on that are the XL category, or it's basically the American unit. It's trapezoidal, I believe, some trapezoidal thing with 0.2-inch pitch, and unfortunately I couldn't find any good pulleys that had this diameter that could fit on it. So what ended up happening is, as this was spinning, I think I talked about this in my other video, but as this was spinning, it essentially melted itself and caused this weapon to never work properly. So in the next one, I'm going to update this to a better better pulley rating so I can actually, you know, have a functioning weapon. And also this bit right here cracked, although that's not a huge deal. It only happened in the rumble, I think. And I'll just make a new one and push it back into place. For wheels and for drive motors, we have 2300 kV, which I think geared down with this is about 1000 RPM brushless motors, along with reversible brushless ESCs. Same BEC as in Chernobyl, which provides this with power. And then I'm using an LIHV battery, which I do not have on me right now. That runs at 1100 milliamp hours, also at 3S, so 3 cells, 1.1 volts. Okay, so now moving on to damage for both bots. We'll start again with Chernobly. The main damage is just on the externals. So you can see big chunk taken out there, a lot of damage done to the drum here. This obviously cannot be used again, because you can see the teeth have been worn down so badly that's never gonna get a good bite. This whole front section is gone and replaced by duct tape. This whole side section is gone and replaced by duct tape and some extra PLA. And then there is some damage to the back of this, which I just glued a little bit onto to help fix that. And then also I had a couple of these motors lock up on me. It's hard to show with one hand, but you can tell that's not spinning. Like it is spinning, but it's very locked up, and the gears aren't actually moving. It's just the wheel turning. So this motor's shot. This one still works fine, but the electronics were mostly okay with that one. And again, it somehow managed to win its brackets. That's pretty cool. Now moving on to Syrnik. Major damage. There's a large chunk taken out of the PLA here from a vector kit. And this goes way deep into the robot. It's pretty hard to tell from this angle, but it goes pretty deep into the robot. But luckily I made this stupid thick, so it just kind of, you know, didn't do much. Then the side bits, these were all fine. The wheels were fine, except for this chunk taken out right here. Looking at this angle, you can see the ears. If it would focus, you can see the ears right here are kind of wonky because this one wobbles like that. Looking at it from the front, you can see this wedge is kind of torn up. It's just been busted out from this side, and then I think it might be, the bottom might be a little bit warped, so it doesn't want to sit right on that. These uprights, just a few scratches on it, nothing major. So that's pretty good. I'm glad that those stayed together. Once again, this got cracked in here, and this pulley that drives the weapon ended up melting. Let's see here. What else is there? Oh yes, electronics damage. I've already taken apart most of the robot, as is quite obvious, but there was some major electronics damage when I was upside down and I got hit from behind, because I asked him to hit me to try and flip me over, and he did, and he basically chewed up all the wiring that's back in here. But the problem is that wiring is the main hub where all my wires connect, so it essentially just took out a large chunk of my wiring, and it completely demolished one of my drive ESCs. So that was not ideal, but I can just get a new one and it should be okay. And then the other problem with the robots, there are two problems with the robot. One being the weapon didn't work, and the other was this side of the drive stopped working randomly. And basically what happened was, it's this little thing right here. I had the receiver mounted in here, and this plug goes from here and winds around down in there over to here. And what happened was, this just kind of kept getting barely unplugged. There's just a little bit too much tension on it. And because of that, it just unplugged itself and tore off the connection to the wheel. So that's about it. There's Syrnik. There's Chernobly. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or suggestions for next videos I should do, or new robot ideas, I'm happy to hear them. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you again next time.